Cool.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the 6th grade Brazos Canoeing Campout. My name is Jake Monty, and this is my dad, Wes, and we will be directing the Suns Campout on September 6th through the 7th.
I'm Maddie, that's my dad, Chris, and we'll be directing the September 13th and 14th Brazos.
I'm Shay, that's my dad, Zach, and we're going to be directing the September 20th through 21st Brazos Canoeing.
And we'll be doing that with Troy and Lexi Nini, who are not here today.
I'm Raphael, this is my dad Charles, and we're going to be directing the September 6th through 7th Suns Campout.
And I'm Brian, and my daughter Lauren couldn't be here today. We will be directing the September 13th and 14th Brazos Campout.
If you need to contact the directors for any reasons, the directors' emails and phone numbers are available in the packet, and you can find that in the same place where you found this video.
Our HAT's mission is growing relationships, communication, and leadership through adventure with our dads. Every adventure, game, or activity we do in this campout is certified to deliver on the mission. Our theme this weekend is It's the Journey, Not the Destination. We will have our own journey on this adventure. It will be filled with challenges, communication, and fun. Take advantage of the time you have with your dad, son, or daughter on this adventure. You'll have plenty of time to communicate and solve problems together.
We will be canoeing the Brazos River on this campout. Do you know another name for our HAT's canoes? The communication device. Daughters or sons will be sitting in the back of the canoe on this trip. This is the control part of the canoe, and it will also stimulate a lot of conversations as you go down the river. When does your adventure start? Your adventure starts now. Start spending time with each other. Plan your menus. Think of supplies. And think about your goals that you're going to do together on this weekend. What are our goals? We want you to have 48 hours to focus on quality time with your daughter or son without distractions. We want you to learn how to choose your path together and work together to get where you're going. We are continuing on a very exciting journey of growing your relationship and communication with your daughter or son. This is a very memorable trip. You will have many memories to think about on this trip that will bring such excitement throughout your future.
All right, going off of Rafa and building that relationship, here are our non-negotiables for this weekend. The 18-inch rule is obviously one you've heard of before, but it's especially important this weekend because we will be on the water in canoes. The next one is no alcohol. We know that one by now, but again, it is a distraction that takes away from growing that relationship. No electronics. We will have mentor teams with cameras. No pets. I don't know why you would want a dog on the river. That doesn't seem like the best idea. No firearms. Again, a pretty self-explanatory one. Not very safe and definitely a distraction. Leaving early. Now, if this is planned, you need to let your director team know, preferably before the campout so we can help work through this. And if you need to leave unexpectedly, you definitely need to tell your director or a Red Hat team so we can safely manage the situation and help you get out. The next up is safety and weather. It's hot right now and it will be hot on this campout. Hydration before you get to the campout and during the campout is extremely important for the success of this trip. Bring at least 5 gallons per team. And then sunscreen, wide brim hats, SPF skin coverings are a must. Sunburns are not fun. Not a good way to start the weekend off. Bring your medical needs. This is not car camping, so you will need to pack your medicines, EpiPens, inhalers, etc. Anything you need for a successful weekend. And then closed-toed shoes for the river are a must. You always have to wear closed-toed shoes in the water. We are an all-weather camping organization. We don't cancel trips for weather. Sometimes the weather is a big part of the adventure. We will be cognizant of what the weather will be and work to make sure everybody is prepared for it. The safety team will have their phone and a Garmin inReach and will keep an eye on the weather and notify if anything is coming that we need to be aware of. Have decent rain gear. Ponchos don't cut it for all weather campout. Frog togs are inexpensive and do a good job. We have trained safety officers and a well-developed safety plans. With HATS, safety is the only thing that trumps the mission. We also do have a lightning protocol in place in the event of thunderstorms and lightning storms. And in light of the Kerr County floods, we have new safety protocols in place in the event of rising water.
now that we got all that out of the way, we can talk about schedule. So schedule on this camp out, Brazos is one of those special camp outs where we don't start on Friday, we actually start on Saturday. So on Saturday, we need everybody to arrive at Rochelle's Canoeing at 9 a.m. sharp. This is really important, so we make sure we have plenty of time to get down the river, depending on how fast or slow individual teams are going. And for most of us, especially in the Dallas area, this is about 2.5 hour drive, maybe more depending, or maybe less where you live. Some people, like me and my dad, have done this in the past where we go stay in a friend's house or a hotel on Friday night. So it's just an easy, just smooth drive down there on Saturday morning, no stress at all. But you and your son, you and your daughter can decide that, and you can do whatever you want. So we want y'all all to arrive at 9 a.m. and we're going to help everybody pack the canoes. We will also send a video out where you can find the pack, and this video will also send a video on how to pack a canoe. This video is really important, just as important as this one, so you know exactly what to pack and how to pack it to have a successful trip down the river. We are going to circle at 9 a.m. sharp, and we'll have safety instructions, and we have crew gear that we need for the entire camp out, things like grills, lanterns, all this other stuff that we will put in other canoes as well. We will be on the river by around 11 o'clock for just a paddle all the way down to lunch. The lunch spot is a great spot. And once we get to lunch, we'll have lunch, just some time to chill, and also have some games there. And after that, we leave that spot. We'll get to our campground around 4 or 5 o'clock. And then we'll have plenty of time to set up camp and then dig the fire pit and do all this other stuff. And you can also have time to take a nap. It'll be a very exhausting day, and it'll be really nice to get out of the sun. I know a lot of the dads are going to do that. And then after that, we're going to have a few more games, just some chill time, and then we'll have the Hats Fire Pit, we'll have dinner, we'll have dessert, we'll have stars, anything you want to do. And then we'll go to bed. Sunday morning, we wake up, we have breakfast, we circle up, we do some games, some knot tying exercises, and then we will pack up our stuff, put it in the canoe, and then we'll paddle down to the takeout point. We will be off the river on Sunday by around 2 o'clock. And then, to get to Rochelle's, we have some directions. The best done is put Rochelle's. Something you can do right now is put Rochelle's Canoe Rentals into your GPS right now. Because the coverage when we get down there can be super spotty, and it's super helpful to have it now, so you can just simply click it into your GPS and you can go straight there. But for most of us, we'll be going west of Fort Worth to Mineral Wells. We will be taking Highway 81 west to Mineral Wells to Farm to Market 4, heading north approximately 7 miles to the Brazos River Bridge. Rochelle's is just right there at the edge of the bridge. It's very obvious there'll be a building, a lot of cars parked there. And then when you enter Rochelle's, take the private road down to your right, down to the river, and we'll meet on the bank there, just below the bridge on a rock bank.
Alright, with this adventure, less is more. Think more like backpacking than car camping. Too much gear will just weigh you down and make more work. We have some essentials on this trip. We need to bring 5 to 6 gallons of water and electrolytes. A jug for large storage, and water bottles are ready access to stay hydrated when on the river. And my dad will tell you a few more things to bring.
So on the water, unlike any other camp out we do, we don't have ready access to additional water, so you need to bring a lot of water. Bring more than you think you might want to drink. 5 to 6 gallons for a team is probably adequate for most. Some people might want to bring more than that. So do bring a lot of water.
And Zach, I'll also say the best time to start hydrating for this trip is on Friday. The day before, you want to start pre-hydrating. You want to make sure that you are operating with a full tank on Saturday morning. If you get behind on your hydration, it's very difficult to catch up once you're out on the river.
So I would say between the 5 of us dads, we have probably been down the Brazos somewhere between 20 and 30 times, quite a bit. Every time I go, I think my kit gets a little bit smaller and smaller. I have to take less and less.
Definitely so. Definitely so.
That said, you can these canoes are large. You can take a lot of stuff. If you want to bring a Dutch oven, you can bring a Dutch oven. If you want to bring your cot, you can bring a cot. If you want to bring your biggest tent, you can do that. All those things are
We have seen 10-person tents out there before. I wouldn't do it, but I've seen it.
totally acceptable. It's more stuff to haul down the river. It's more stuff to haul out of your canoe when we get to the sandbar. So things to think about. But if there are things that you are not comfortable sleeping without or camping without, then by all means, you're welcome to bring those things. But again, generally speaking, less is more for this camp out. And there are a few things, even as we talk about less is more, there's a few things with canoeing down the Brazos that we want to recommend and kind of call out here. One is having a little bit of rope to lead your canoe with. Generally, there are going to be some spots in the Brazos where you're going to bottom out and need to drag a little bit. So having a 10 to 15 foot length of rope from the front of your canoe to be able to pull your canoe in some select spots will be helpful. Some of the canoes at Rochelle's will already have one, but yours may not, so it'd be a good idea to have a length of rope. Sand stakes. We're going to be camping on a sandbar. There's some areas that are kind of larger rock. There's some areas that are fine sand. Either way, your typical tent stakes are not going to hold very well in that. And if it's a perfectly beautiful Hats night, no big deal. You don't even need stakes at all, right?
Right.
But if we get some wind out there, you're going to want to have stakes that work. So a few ideas. You can make your own out of PVC pipe. Take 1-inch PVC, cut it at an angle at the end, kind of put a notch in at the top to hold your tent. And those work great. You can buy similar products on Amazon that are not that expensive. If you search beach stakes or sand stakes. Some folks have used empty stuff sacks and they load them with rocks, and you can tie out to those weighted sacks. Any other ideas? Is that what you guys have seen too?
Those are usually the main things that you see.
Okay. So those are some good ideas. Or you may have some regular stakes that are extra long.
Yeah.
That may work.
Yeah, I'll use 10-inch stakes that are just metal spikes, and those will work too.
Okay. So if you're generally camping with like a 6-inch stake, probably not a good idea.
Right.
10-inch spike, that'll probably be good enough for this. Or some
The
kind
ones
of
that have got the little corkscrews at the bottom tend to work
Yep.
pretty well too.
All right. Squirt guns.
Must have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Necessary.
Your daughter or son will probably appreciate it if you brought a squirt gun along. So
And the canoe next to you will too.
that can be a lot of fun on the river. A seat pad or a Crazy Creek chair. So you're on the canoe all day long. Most of you guys probably were on Lake Whitney with us in the spring, so you all know what it's like to be on that canoe. And this is going to be a longer paddle than we did on Whitney. So having something, a little bit of cushion, maybe a little back support is going to be really helpful for you dads especially. Paddle gloves. Some guys like to wear them, some not necessarily, but that might be something you want to wear. PFD, like we talked about, those will be provided. You're going to get just kind of the standard orange PFD from Rochelle's. They're great. It's totally fine. But if you have your own PFD and want to bring it, and it's Coast Guard certified PFD, then by all means do that. 8 pounds of self-lighting charcoal, like on any Hats camp out. Bring a small stove if you want to make coffee or do some cooking. And then just thinking about your clothes. I'm at a point where I've modeled the Charles Triplet way, which is to cover every inch of skin possible. So a sun hoodie, something that may cover down to your hands and cover as much of your face as possible, is great. But whether you're going with a tank top or covering every inch of skin, just be thinking about having sufficient clothes to be on the water, having something when we get to camp that you can be dry in. A towel might be nice. So just be thinking through the clothes you need to be wet and to be warm and to have a change of clothes for the weekend.
And personally, I like to have an extra set of clothes that I actually leave in the car for something to change into once we're ready to drive home, so I'm not driving home in what I just got out of the river.
And then finally, dry bags. If you have like a legit dry bag, that's great. If you don't, trash bags work fine. Ziploc bags work fine. Combination of those things Most of us are not going to end up with our canoe upside down. In fact, that's pretty rare. But your stuff is going to get wet, and it might get splashed, and you're going to, having a dry bag is great, but at a minimum, some trash bags or Ziploc bags to protect the things that you don't want to get wet around the river would be great. And then to reiterate, we do have a second video on canoe packing if you want to look at some tips and techniques. And then please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us, your director for the weekend. If you have any questions about what to bring, what not to bring, any recommendations for gear, how to pack, all that kind of stuff. If you have questions, we definitely want to connect with you before the trip to talk about it.
Yeah, and some of you may not have done the lake canoeing, and this might be your first time canoeing. For sure, reach out to your directors with any questions that y'all might have. And I want to let you know that we will have paddle instruction first thing in the morning. So again, if you haven't done lake canoeing, that's all right. And then we'll help you throughout the day. We'll have mentors available to help you one-on-one throughout the day as well.
All right, and with that, last but not least, food. So your Saturday morning breakfast should be eaten before you arrive at Rochelle's. Eat something on the road is good, like pick quick McDonald's, whatever. Just eat before you come because it's going to be a long day. Saturday lunch, it will be on the river. Pack something handy in your canoe. Sandwiches, chips, and fruits, those are ideal. Other easy foods to eat, nothing too complicated. We will be on the river. Bring lots of handy snacks, especially bring salty snacks and other electrolytes. The sun can really take those electrolytes out of you, and you want to make sure you're feeling good all day on the river, so it's important to have salt and other electrolytes. And bags of chips, it's kind of hard to eat those on the river, so like granola bars and other handy snacks are typically better, but you can bring chips for like lunch. And then for dinner, we'll set up grates over charcoal fire and everyone will cook and eat dinner together. Simple options include hot dogs and hamburgers. Lots of people bring steaks, veggies, foil packs, or other items. If you wish to make a backpacking meal or something other on your own stove, that's totally fine as well. Just whatever you guys feel comfortable bringing. And then Sunday breakfast, again, needs to be something kind of easy. Cereal, donuts, muffins, hard-boiled eggs, or like a backpacking breakfast. Just something easy, but to give you enough fuel to have energy to go down the river again. We're not saying skip the pancakes and eggs, but this is a great camp out to go a little bit easier on your breakfast for Sunday.
And I'll just throw in one of the things that I've noticed that's easier for us, Jetboil. Those are wonderful things if you have those. If you don't worry. Several of us on the camp out will have those, and we'll make those available as needed.
Yeah.
But the dehydrated meals, backpacking meals, fantastic option, and it helps to lighten the load so you're not taking everything down the river like Maddie and I did in our first time through. So
Yep.
that's certainly a wonderful option as well.
And then Sunday lunch, you're on your own for that. Get something on the way home. Don't. That's up to you guys.
Well, thank you all for watching this video. We really hope all of y'all are just excited about all of us are. I know we've all been down this river a lot of times, and we keep coming back to it because we love this camp out so much. We hope all y'all pack well and talk with each other about what you want to do on this weekend. We hope you drive safe, and we really hope you enjoy the adventure. We can't wait to see y'all out there.
All right.
All right, so some of you who camped with me last spring, not Lake Whitney, had the opportunity to see a packing of a canoe. So Chris was nice enough to bring in a canoe. As I've said before, they're surprisingly large in terms of what they can carry. So some of the feedback we've gotten out of the camp out says, oh, we really didn't get a sense of how big they were. So we either brought too much or we brought too little. That being said, we thought it was a good idea to show you guys how much stuff can go in here. So again, when you're on the camp out, I'm going to be wearing this on my kayak. But if you're going to bring your own life jacket, make sure it's a Coast Guard approved PFD. We want to make sure that you're not bringing water wings or anything like that. These things have a ton of space. The key with this in any canoe, as you remember, if you put the spring activity, is that these things are tipping side to side, right? So the goal is to keep as much of the weight in the center and at the bottom of the canoe as possible. That will stabilize it. You don't want too much weight to one side or the other. You don't want to be going down the river with a list. And you also want to put the lightest things on top, because again, it's all about center of gravity. You want the center of gravity as low in the boat as possible, and that's by putting the heaviest things in the bottom of the boat as possible. So, again, talked about bringing the trash bag here. Now, this is not your 3-ply, but you kind of get the idea. You get a sleeping bag in here, you get a mat in here, you get another sleeping bag. You get a lot of stuff in here. You get a pillow in here, and it's light. So this is the kind of stuff you're going to want to pack it in to keep it dry. It's also the stuff you're going to want to put on the top of the canoe when you pack it. That's like the last thing you put in. It's also nice and flexible, so it can get wedged into stuff. Okay? Coolers. You got a cold cooler. I would suggest you put it near where you are going to be driving the canoe in the back or the front, so you can reach in and get your drinks. Nice to have there. If it's really heavy and it's big, put it back in this part of the canoe. But anyway, have it where you can reach in there and get some ice out or get a cold drink. That's a nice convenience to have. The action packers that you're going to put your supplies in, you can see how much space that these can hold. All right, you get a lot of stuff in there, a lot more stuff than you probably need for the camp out. All right, so then that there, you've got chairs that can go into the sides. It's just amazing how much space. I didn't bring everything you could. Like I said, I've gotten tables in here, a can here and here. Stoves. You've got a day pack. You can throw some stuff in. You got space there. And then that up real quick. Here's the other side. There we go. And this stuff can just kind of wedge itself in the back. Okay? So once you get all that stuff loaded, it seems nice and stable. For the most part it is, and if you don't tip over, you don't have to do anything else. However, I wouldn't do that. This is my kayak straps. I didn't bring my ratchet straps. But if you can go down to Home Depot for $20, $25, you can get a set of orange ratchet straps that are ideal for keeping these things down. But at a minimum, what you want to do is pardon me?
You just tie it at both sides.
Harbor Freight's a great place.
Inexpensive straps. You can even you can use rope as well.
Yeah, you can use just about anything to lash it down, but the reality is you want to make sure that you lash this stuff down.
If something does happen, you want something to hold your stuff in the canoe. Otherwise, you're going to end up having yard sale in the river. That's never any fun of trying to collect all your stuff back up. Now, so we have one place on the river that we have typically had some trouble with losing canoes. And in the last couple of years, we have started staging right before we get to that point, and the mentor team will actually be in the river, making sure the canoes have a good line entering that spot, and staying away from the trouble spot on the right. We'll aim you more towards the left. Since we started doing that, we haven't lost any canoes. So I think it's a very low probability that any canoes are going to go over, but nonetheless, we'd like for you to strap your stuff in the off chance something does happen, and make sure your stuff stays in the canoe.
For that, we should strap. That's where you want to be. You don't want this stuff floating down the river. Okay.
some quick things that I wish I had known before I had gone. For those of y'all that are first going, the action packers are great. They're also kind of an investment. Those are a little bit pricey. Target has these Sterilite in their storage area. This size is $12, and I think this size, which I've actually got all my sleeping stuff in here already, is I think 18. And the nice thing about these is that they have a gasket around the side, so I don't know that they're going to be completely waterproof, but they're also not going to sink. And they're very likely to keep everything dry inside. And these are great not just for the canoe trip, right? This is a great place to store all of your stuff and put it away where you know it's going to be safe and bugs aren't going to get in and that kind of stuff in between adventures. So you can use these on all your adventures when you're going car camping, not just in your canoes. So cost-effective means.
Right. And the other thing with lashing down the gear is you can stack stuff up a little bit higher if you want to, if you can lash it down.
I see your drive.
See my left? Drive right. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, I can fit all the stuff that I carry for $8 and myself in about 3 dry bags. And so this is a fairly expensive dry bag, a very nice one. And I know you were talking about you can get a set of 3 of them for $10 or $12 at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how are they this size or so?
The largest I think was 12 liters.
Okay.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I think it was like a 12 liter, a 10 liter, and an 8 liter.
15, 18 liters, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got a 30 liter at Academy the other day for the kayak. That's also a backpack for $59.
Okay. So I have 3 dry bags that are not quite this big. And they're not the rubberized material. They're a little bit lighter material. I think they're about $5 or $6 each. Here's what I really like, and I can fit all like the clothing, sleeping bags, stuff that I really want to keep dry. Keys, I can fit that in those 3 dry bags for one of my daughters and myself. And then the great thing about a dry bag, you roll the top and you clip it at the top, and then you put it in your canoe and you run a strap through this part here. It's not going anywhere. It'll stay in your canoe. So I really like that aspect about a dry bag. So that's another consideration. Action packers are good. These are good. These will all work. That's just one thing to consider for a dry bag.